I invite
من اینجا هستم که در رابطه با اتفاقی که برای خودم
who survived those years.
در زندان صحبت کنم.
Mehdi is one of them. Thank you.
از زندانی‌هایی که در دهه 60
I'm here to speak
در اون شرایطی که پیش اومده بود
about what happened to myself
و
in the prison.
روزی که از اون زمان با خودم در واقع
I speak of the prisoners who in the 1980s,
تا 2 سال پیش تقریبا که در
in those well-known conditions, were in prisons.
برای اولین بار مطرح شدم.
And the secret that I have been carrying with me since then, in the past 30 years, I haven't talked about this to anyone until 2 years ago when I disclosed it for the first time in Iran Tribunal.
توسط این جانیان جمهوری اسلامی
The truth is
اعدام شد. ولی شاید کمتر صحبت میشه از کسانی که
that
از نظر روح کشته میشه.
much is told about those who were killed in 1980s
ولی
by Islamic Republic criminals, those who were executed.
کشته است.
But not much is told about those who were mentally killed.
کمتر از تجاوزات روحی
Their bodies are still alive,
صحبت میشه.
but they have
شاید یکی از علتاش هم اینه که کسانی که
gone through such mental suffering
شرایطی قرار گرفتن
that they can't be called alive. We hear of
زیاد نبودن کسانی حرفش زده بشه.
bodily rape,
حتی اگر
but
کسانی که مورد
we
تجاوز
haven't talked
هستن
much about mental rape.
گرفتن، اون چیزی که در واقع باقی
Maybe
می‌مونه،
because those
مثلا
who
این
have
کسی شاید
gone
علم
through
درسش
such
بیشتر
conditions,
باشه، ولی اون چیزی که باقی می‌مونه در
many of them never talked about this.
صدمه‌ای که از نظر روحی می‌خوره. به هر صورت من برای
Even
اینکه
those who were raped
این
physically,
رو بگم باید در واقع برگردم به اول انقلاب.
the damage that is enduring is the mental damage.
اصلا
The bodily harm
سینا بودم.
fades away more quickly.
توی عالم خودم بودم، توی زندگی خودم بودم. تنها اتفاقی که افتاده بود این بودش که در واقع
I have to start from the beginning, right after the
یه
revolution.
عالم عاشق و توی دنیای خودش.
I was a young man that was rather non-political.
وقتی انقلاب
I was living my life.
روزی رسید،
The only thing that happened was
تونستیم تنفس کنیم. با کمال میل من می‌خواستم ازش دفاع کنم.
a rather simple-minded man
و در این رابطه بودش که توی تظاهراتایی که سازمان مجاهدین خلق و سازمان شریکای فریق خلق
who was a little bit of a dandy. I just wanted to defend the freedom that was restored after the revolution. I want to preserve this freedom. That's why I participated in the demonstrations organized by MKO and the Fadayan group that were real revolutionary groups at that time, before, under the Shah and afterwards, and had the right to benefit from freedom. I participated in demonstrations organized by them and some other groups. After the Fadayan group started the armed struggle, the demonstrations were those organized by MKOs until June 1981. And I witnessed the crimes that happened on that day. There was a peaceful demonstration with hundreds of thousands of participants that was repressed in blood by criminal revolutionary guards. Anyways, so I'll go to September 1981 when I was sent to Evin prison.
به در صورت اون زمان به زندان رفتم و از
I was accused of having carried political statements. It was not even known that I had participated in the huge demonstration of June. So I went to prison. I don't want to talk about the slashes, the torture. All of this is known by everyone, and I don't want to repeat this. I was sent to ward number 4. I was always saying that I haven't done anything. I'm not against the Islamic Republic. I was a tawab, a repentant. Usually they would coming every 2 weeks. They were choosing a few they were asking them if they will they do consent to do television broadcast interviews. Some people consented. Those who didn't agree, they were beaten up a little bit and then sent back to the ward. I was new in there. I was there for 1 month only. They were telling us to say yes, to answer yes positively to those questions. One of these times when they called me out with a few other persons. They asked me, would you participate in the execution of those who are condemned to death? I said yes. I thought this is a bluff, so I said yes. They said, so now if you do, come with us. They took me with one other person. From the other cells, they took other people. And then they took all of us to a room. I was still thinking that this is a bluff. Then when we were almost 30, we boarded the bus. Where we stepped down, 2 other buses arrived. We were almost 100 persons. So that was a place of execution. The Revolutionary Guards had black masks and gloves. They were standing in a row. Then the buses of those who were to be executed arrived. They stepped down as well. So they formed a row in front of the Revolutionary Guards. It was a very, very long row. Maybe there were 60 or 70. It was very long. Afterwards, they told us to go ahead and to go beside the Revolutionary Guard who is in front of the others and put our hands on his hand and put our finger on the trigger. Some people didn't go. They peed in their pants. They were insulted there. I went. I didn't want to be weak, so I went there and I put my hands on the hand of the Revolutionary Guard. They cited a few verses of Quran and then they opened fire. And then he was telling me, why didn't you push your finger? Those who didn't come
عقب وایساده بودن رو فرستادن که
who didn't step forward.
دست و پاشون رو بگیرن و پرت کنن توی کامیون.
Then they fired the coup de grâce.
اعدام شدن من به چشم خودم دیدم.
And then they asked those who had stepped back to take the bodies and put them in the truck. Those who were executed, I saw myself among them.
دو نفر اونورتر دیدمش، یه بچه بود. باز دو نفر بعد یه بچه دیگه.
There were children who were only 12, 13 or 14.
دخترها خیلی زندان و یعنی اونم خیلی بچه نمی‌ذارم مثلا کم میتونم بگم چون روی سری
I saw myself,
نمیتونم قطعی بگم ولی پسرها رو
a
کامل
child and another child, a young girl. I couldn't see how old are the girls because she had a scarf and her eyes were banded. But I could see very clearly that the boys who were executed, really young boys of 12, 13 and 14. After this, they took us back to the cell. The only thing I could do was to go to one of my cellmates who was a member of the MKO. I told him that I was like a marionette, like a... He told me, look into your heart. You know yourself what was in your heart. I was a religious person and I still am. For years I have prayed because I was obliged by my parents, but it was the first time I did. But during that time I was thinking that the only person who knows what happened to me is God, who knows what's in my heart. I should say that I was not alone. 100 persons were with me. And I'm not surprised if those people, after this, if I hear that they have committed suicide, or they have joined the regime because they think they have no place on the other side. For some, maybe, maybe this is not too tough. Those who are used to armed struggle. For me, who couldn't bear my cat to hunt a bird, I was always blaming myself for having fished once and killed a fish. I had once participated in killing a human being. And they were the most precious. This was the most precious use of our country, who was sacrificing her or his life for freedom. And I participated in their murder.